quantum. So my name is Hamid Nazari. As Aradman introduced myself, I work at Comcast Labs. I'm a principal scientist. We do research and development and build the futuristic type of technologies relevant to our company. At the same time, I teach at UC Berkeley, AI technologies as well. So today I want to just share with you how quantum technology shapes future business paradigm. So this is a new type of computation power that we have to think about it as a business owner or investor. So let me start with the history of quantum technologies. In 1981, the great Richard Feynman, who was a professor at Caltech University, he had a thought about simulating quantum behavioral of the molecules, and he speculated that to basically simulate this behavior, you need a quantum technology to be able to fully simulate this type of evolutions or this type of behavior. For example, if you want to make a drug, you need to experiment many type of fusion of molecules. This is not what you can do with a classical machine efficiently. And if you can, that takes forever. And quantum machine, based on what Richard Feynman thought about it, could solve these type of problems. And that was the beginning of quantum computation. In 1994, Peter Shor, who I am honored to be his student at MIT, he developed his first quantum algorithm. And that quantum algorithm is used to factorize integers. it may sound simple for a small number to factor it to the prime number, but for a 3-digit number, that could take millions of years, which is impossible to solve these type of problems. So Peter Shor fully came up with the formula or algorithm that could solve this type of problems on a quantum machine. But at the time, we didn't have a quantum machine to implement his algorithm to prove that his algorithm is implementable. So in 1996, Love Grover came up with his own algorithm, which is called needle in a haystack. He developed an algorithm that you could just find or search in a database one specific thing with the 4-fold speed. And in 1998, here we go, we have a computer with a 2-bit in a quantum world. We call it qubit, which is quantum bit, that could solve the first algorithm developed by those great scientists. So the Grover algorithm tested, and the test was positively shown that 4x speed. Peter Shor algorithm was implemented later on more powerful machine with more qubits. And fast forward in 2017, we have IBM that released the first commercially available quantum machine that you could just implement your own algorithm on that machine, which is now available. You can just play with that. With that movement by IBM and the algorithms developed by scientists, now we have a race by the big techs in the new level in the quantum computation world. So Google, Microsoft, Intel, they are big companies. They are developing their own machines, and they're developing their own algorithms, and they're constantly building more powerful machines, more qubits. So currently, Google built a 54 or 56 qubit machine, and they speculated, or they said that they can build a machine with 1,000 qubits, which works with error correcting algorithm. So the other companies like IBM, they believe that they can just reach to the quantum supremacy, and that is beating classical computer using different type of algorithms on quantum machines. And now we have a machine, we have algorithms, we have a bunch of scientists, big tech companies, a lot of funds. So obviously we are witness many startups that started just getting into this kind of area of technologies to develop their own either machine or algorithms, softwares, operating systems, etc., etc. Some of those, as you can see on the screen, the Rigetti Computing company, they offer a full stack quantum computation kind of algorithm and machine. D-Wave, they actually solve optimization problems in a different, totally different ways that IBM or other qubit-based or gate-based computers can solve those type of problems. IonQ is a company that uses, that is based on ion-trapped qubits, and PsiQuantum, photonic kind of base quantum qubits, and they focus on those type of algorithms that can be implemented using photon technologies. Atom Computing, and this is a very interesting company. They use trapped neutral atom. And Quantum Motion is another company which uses a silicon chip. So all of these companies, they basically, that are listed in the right-hand side column, they use 4 different type of qubits. The first qubit is based on photon. They use photon and the property of the photon to build the qubit. And the second is ion-based kind of qubit. And third is superconducting transmon qubit, which is the most reliable. But this one is what limits us in terms of the nature of quantum world. So I explain later in the next slides. So the nuclear spin state of atom is another type of qubit. So they use all of these companies basically who built the quantum machine or implement their algorithms. They rely on these 4 different types of qubits. The type of opportunities in the market. So in the business and technologies, I've listened to the keynote speech about cryptography. So the quantum technology and the algorithm that the scientists are developing is a great threat to RSA encryption and cryptography, or the technology that's used in the blockchain technologies. So if we can, or we have a type of quantum machine that can implement Peter Shor algorithm, then that can easily break the RSA security, and that can easily break blockchain security. So that means we have to be prepared for a near future threat. So the other business opportunities is digital business opportunities. As you can see in the artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT. So nowadays we have ML algorithms that are running on IBM machine or Zapata. Zapata as a company, they are implementing machine learning on a quantum machine, although it hasn't shown any quantum supremacy over classical computer, but it's being running on those machines. That means we have the technology, but we don't have the capacity of the hardware to get there. And obviously, every hardware requires software. So quantum software companies are racing to build the better and most efficient software that can run on either their own machine or the other partner's machine. IBM offers Qiskit or IBM Q, so you can use this package as an SDK to install on your machine, connect to their quantum machine to play around with the machine learning packages that they have. Google Circ is another great SDK that you can use to implement some algorithms on, or whatever algorithms that you want on Google quantum machines. Amazon Bracket Amazon actually hasn't built his own quantum machine, but they are working as an aggregator of D-Wave, IonQ, and Rigetti quantum machines. Zapata Orchestra, it's an aggregator of software quantum technologies rather than the hardware. Microsoft Q-Sharp and D-Wave Ocean Leap, which uses annealing technology to solve optimization problem or combinatorial type of problem in different ways. And current technical challenges is, remember, when we were talking about photon or ion-based, ion-trapped type of qubits, or even superconducting electron-trapped type of qubits, we're talking about very, very, very small scale of computation bit. So that means that qubit that trapped an atom or electron can be easily affected by the temperature or the disturbance in your environment. So, but the problem with this type of qubits, or any type of qubits that you have, is you have to keep them in a very, very low temperature to prevent environmental impact on those machines, on those qubits. So then the scaling of the qubits is difficult, and gate fidelity as a result of interference. So let's say you have two qubits, and one qubit can easily impact the other because of the closeness of the trapped ion or electrons. The information, another problem with the quantum technology is the information like classical computer, that you can copy information from one bit to another bit. Qubits or quantum bits are not copyable. You can't just copy quantum information. We have to find different ways of doing that, and that's a challenge. And quantum error correction, again, that's an algorithm developed by Peter Shor. So some companies like Google, they believe they can build 1,000 qubits type of machine that can solve, they can beat classical machine using this technology, error correction, but error correction by itself comes with an error. So that's actually impose on other problems. So the most reliable qubits by far is superconducting, and the reliable quantum machine that you can see in the market, which IBM actually built one of them, is based on superconducting qubits. And quantum computing niche market. This is for investors and for entrepreneurs. So we have different niche markets now. One of them is cryogenic systems, because you have to keep your qubits in a very low temperature. This is one area startups can work on. The other one is control system, control the whole computation, quantum computation environment, firmware's processor fabrication, which is QP, it's called Q process, quantum processors, quantum chips, which is different from classical chips, totally different, softwares, which can help to implement quantum workflows, and quantum cloud, like Amazon Bracket. You can just invest or tap into that market, and developer tools and operating system is another one. So marketing, major market segments. The biggest market segments, obviously, nowadays is building the best qubits. So as you can see, 29% is occupied by quantum hardware. And then it follows by cloud services, and then professional supports and software applications, et cetera, et cetera. And quantum computing revenue, 2021 up to 2026 by Statista, that's reported, that was before pandemic, of course, but that was reported that the revenue at 2021 reaches to 472 million, and it goes to 1.7 billion to 2026. Another report shows that market size grows with the compound annual growth rate of 25.4%. Wave technologies, so to have your own scientists to implement some algorithm for your company, and or you can be strategically partnered with the other companies to adapt quantum technologies. And so this is a testament of where quantum technologies is heading to. So US government invested $1.2 billion or committed to invest in the next 5 years in quantum technology. China follows in the second rank, US with 1 billion, and then after that, Canada, almost 1 billion, UK, Germany, and then the last one is South Korea with 40 million. Well, as a conclusion, I think quantum technology solves the problems in different ways. That doesn't mean the classical computers goes away, but that solves unsolvable problems that classical computers has not been solved so far. So it's time for venture capitals, for technologists, for scientists to invest in, adopt the technology, and position for the future. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can reach me out by my email, and can connect on LinkedIn, can answer your questions. Thank you.